We are being suppressed. People of the middle are being suppressed. And to think that there's not extremists in all sides, there are extremists in every single group, every single creed, whether it be a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew. To think that there's not radical Jews, you got to be out of your mind. Okay? But you also got to put yourself in their shoes. Not hard to radicalize. Been through hell, World War II, atrocities happened. You got to be able, if you have any compassion in your heart, to try to understand where the hell people are coming from and why they might be the way they are. But the problem is right now, everyone's being funneled, pushed into echo chambers. I blame social media for that. And radicalizing these very extreme positions that we can't come to the table, like me and you, a Christian and a Muslim, and sit down and find the common ground. What is the common ground between Christians and Muslims? Let's start there.
I mean, I think there's a lot between Christians and Muslims. The religion, means God.
And the Arabic.
They both
in
Hebrew, Jesus.
In Hebrew, Ilah, plural, Elohim. And in Aramaic, the language of Christ, Allah. It's literally a cognate, a word that is the same in three religions. If you watch the movie Passion of the Christ, made by Mel Gibson, I actually got to meet the mayor. I worked with his brother at Marriott. His brother played Jesus Christ, Jim Caviezel. I worked with his brother. I actually got to meet the guy that played Jesus in the movie. In that movie, you'll even hear Jesus Christ in Aramaic saying, Bida Koshta, be Allah. Literally the same word. But since 9/11, the amount of galvanization, which in my opinion has been to alienate, to create Islamophobia, to create hatred towards Arabs, which by the way are only 19% of Muslims. Only 19% of Muslims are Arabic.
That's interesting because in America they act like it's all Arabs and 19%. Because I guess there's Africans, there's the Russian ones.
Asians are one of the biggest groups.
Yeah,
Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis. Indonesia is the most densely populated Muslim country on earth. What army?
They make it sound like it's all Arabs in America. That's so interesting. 19%. That's insane.
What has my message been since day one? I understand sometimes my words get taken out of context. I know you know that also.
Oh, yeah.
They'll put a clip that makes you look like you hate a certain people or you hate a whole group of people. So just my background in a few seconds. I'm an Albanian American. My grandmother's two brothers were hung by the SS in northern Albania. My two great uncles, 16 and 18 years old, were hung off trees during World War II by the SS, the Nazis, because first Albania was under Mussolini, the fascists, then the Germans took control of Albania. What is Albania famous for during World War? A country, and I'm very proud of my people. Albania is, first of all, the most pro-American earth. There's not a single people more pro-American than we have streets named after U.S. presidents. We have statues on it to our presidents. The highway in Kosovo, which many Albanians consider a piece of northern Albania, was a part of Albania. We say was absorbed in Yugoslavia. The fall of the. It's named that way. Understand the complexities of politics and right or left. It's done to show respect to this country that saved us from extermination. When the Ottoman Empire collapsed, Albania lost 70% of its territory. We would have been wiped out like the Kurds and been a people with no home. But Woodrow Wilson stopped that. If it wasn't for Woodrow Wilson, we would have been destroyed. So we're a very pro-American country. But during World War II, we're about 60, 70% Muslim. We also have a very strong Catholic population. Mother Teresa is one of our daughters. Mother Teresa is Albanian. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that, no.
Okay, and we also have an Orthodox population. I am so proud of Albanians because even though we've been in the crossroads of all the empires, we never allowed religion to destroy ourselves amongst each other.
We have never been major religious fighting there?
Never killed each other over religion. And during World War II, my people, including Christians, Christian Albanians, saved every single Jewish refugee that came to Albania's lands. It's the only country in Europe that not a single Jew died in a majority Muslim country.
Well, there was lots of Jews living in the Muslim countries before Israel was created. It was like all over Iraq, Iran. A lot of them didn't want to immigrate to Israel. I believe it was Iraq. Mossad came and started bombing the Jewish population, acting like it was the Muslims to get them to immigrate.
I'm not an expert on all of that, but what I do know, Jake, is there is an agenda by people like Laura Loomer. There was an agenda. I don't know if he did it on purpose or he didn't have the knowledge of people like Charlie Kirk this last month, just pushing these narratives. Muslim this, Muslim that, Islam this. Islam's the greatest threat to the West. I mean, okay, responding to these tweets. And then we look at the history. Is it in the doctrine of Islam? Is it in the doctrine of Islam to hate Christians and Jews? Is it in the doctrine of Islam to call Christians and Jews infidels? The answer is no. They quote the media, to start asking who controls the media and why they might push this narrative. In the media, They have led us to believe since this day, 24 years ago on 9/11, that Muslims want to wipe out Christians and Jews. And we consider them infidels. And kill the non-believers wherever you find them. And they use verses completely out of context. What does Islam say about Christians and Jews? They are called people of the book. Those who received revelation before the final book. Muslims believe the Torah is the Old Testament, the book of Moses, the Psalms of David, and then the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then we believe is the final testament of God. That's what we believe. In that book, God said, there is no harm upon the Jews. If you follow the revelation I sent you, then even salvation, right, is promised you. If you're following actually what Jesus brought, if you're following what Moses brought, and you keep that covenant that I gave with you, this is what the book says. Islam was the enemy of Judaism, because that's the reason I felt so compelled to speak about this. They're using this narrative to justify everything that's been happening over the last 75 years.